Poverty is not a bad thing, Tinubu said. What we don't go see for this life. Welcome to Politics on the Will J, and this is Elite TV. Now, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, you know, sometime last year, talks about the state of Nigeria. And I will not speak much. Let me allow you to watch it. I will come back and then I will dissect on that and what His Excellency, the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, whom his time may be up soon, in the less than 20 days, his time may be up of being the president of Nigeria. So let me allow you to watch this. Then I will come back and digest on the issues that His Excellency raised, and then we'll talk a little bit of what the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said recently.
It is important that we look at where we are today for people to understand the gravity of the journey we are going to take if we are going to transit. Where are we today? Nigeria have qualified to be a failed state. We have met the 2 or 3 biggest characteristics of a failed state. Number one is when you're no longer in charge of your territory. Today, we are among the top terrorized countries of the world. We are among the top kidnapping countries of the world. Banditry, criminality, bandits have taken over some parts of this country. Nigerians are being killed daily. All sorts of criminality is going on daily. Even our most important source of foreign exchange revenue, oil, is today 80% stolen. That shows how bad it is. We are the only country, apart from Venezuela, who we know is their own is because of sanctions, that is not meeting up its OPEC quota. Every other country is begging for increase, but Nigeria is not meeting up its own. And you wouldn't believe the quantity that is missing. In July alone, our total average, our quota is 1.8 million. In July, our total average was 1,083,000 barrels a day. That means that in July, we lost 707,000 barrels per day. If you multiply that by 31 days, it will give you 22,227 barrels of oil that we lost. This is a country that needs dollar. If you sell it, if you sell that oil, if you sell the quantity we lost, this is July alone. If you sell it at the average price of $110, it will give you $2,450,000,000, which at our rate of exchange of 550, you lost. If you use 550, because I used an average of 550, you've lost 1,344,700,000,000 naira. That is your country. That's what you lost in 1 month because of stealing. It is important that we know this. Number two item to show that we are first state is that you are no longer in control of your economy. Your economy today, we have an economy where we have over 100 million people living in poverty. Your unemployment is one of the worst in the world because you have a combined unemployment of 50%, unemployment and underemployment. Out of 200 million Nigerians, 60% is supposed to be working. So you're supposed to have 120 million Nigerians working, but today Nigerians that are working are under 50 million. So 70-something million of Nigerians are not working, they are not productive. When you compare this to your productivity, you will see how low it is. But what is even worse, we're in a physical mess, total physical mess, because of all this. Between January this year and April, the total revenue of federal government of Nigeria is 1,630 billion naira. Their expenditure is 4,720 billion. If you minus this, we have a deficit of 3.3 trillion 100 billion. That shows almost 20% to almost 200% is the deficit. And this is the crisis you face. How did we come here? It's a cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. Because it's 10%, I'll stop here, I would have talked about power. How did we come here? What are we going to do very quickly to come out of this? Very quickly, you need to have a visionary, articulated, competent leadership to start turning around this.
His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, talking about the state of Nigeria. Is Nigeria not a failed state? Looking at the characteristic or the criteria that he listed out, Nigeria is totally a failed state, if you ask me to, because you can't just see a state that your inflation rate is above 19. You cannot see a state where the government cannot protect her citizens. You cannot see a state where her economy is down to zero. That state no longer exists. It's as simple as that. So I believe it's self-explanatory. I wouldn't want to speak too much to avoid the call of some security apparatus. Because in Nigeria, when you speak to power or do a critical analysis of what is on ground or what is obvious to the blind, and also, audible to the deaf, as Patrick Ubayangba once said, it becomes necessarily for them to come and pick you up as a result of the fact that you are making things that are already on public, explaining it, breaking it down, laymen to understand what it means and the reason why they should hold the country or the people in power accountable.